Welcome back. So today we're going to talk a little bit about portion distortion. And what that means is how should we eat like our standard diet on a daily basis for our bodies without weighing, counting calories, or otherwise, putting too much pressure on ourselves to eat well for our body. So the way we're going to do that is one you've probably seen before, our hand. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the distortion part of it. See, we're the sum total of what we've ingested. We can't become what we don't eat. We can't just come out of nowhere, right? And now everybody's body is different. So it doesn't mean if everybody eats the same thing, they're going to be the same way. It doesn't work that way. Bodies are different. And so you may be following an incredible plan and your body isn't changing the way you need to. Maybe you have health issues. Maybe there's small little things that you can adjust that you're unfamiliar with or under the radar. And we'll go over those in another video. But for this video, what we want to talk about is how to structure your plate if you're just a regular guy, regular woman, and you're looking to make sure that your diet is balanced, you're filling in your nutritional gaps, you have the energy, you don't feel deprived, and you're going to be able to see those composition changes that you want to see. So the way it works is we're going to use hand portions. And you may or may not have seen these, but they're super convenient. Now, I'll give some tips on weight loss at the end or maintenance at the end and kind of how to time your nutrition. But we're just going to give you the rundown, what you should be doing at every meal if you're looking to get a handle on your diet. So I talk to people and they'll say, I eat too much of the bad stuff, right? Well, first of all, how do we know it's bad and how do we know it's too much? It's largely depending on goals or what we're comparing to, and sometimes those don't add up in our mind. So when we think like that, we have to remove that thought process. And we just want to introduce something new that will get to you where you want to go. If you remember in a previous video, we talked about a surplus, extra calories. We eat more than we burn. We're going to store it. Maintenance calories, we kind of stay even in terms of caloric intake and output. And then a deficit, we're burning more than we're consuming, or we're burning more each day. So if we're consuming, it might be through exercise or just through our body functions. Now, to our hands. When we structure our plate, okay, and you may hear a couple of different versions of this, but this is the one that I'm going to suggest. We want to start by prioritizing protein. And as a woman, your protein is going to be one palm, just one palm, okay? And thickness, depth, as a man, it'll be 2 palms, okay, 2 palms, well, next to each other, So like a whole chicken breast, half a chicken breast kind of thing, 1 patty, 2 patties, that kind of stuff on your plate. So women, you get 1, men, you get 2. Men, you're basically just going to double everything that we're putting on the woman's plate based on your hand portion. So that's where we're going to start. We want to prioritize protein. Now, how does protein work? Well, if you're non-vegetarian, meaning you eat meat, and you're going to have an animal-based protein, it would just be an animal-based protein, okay? If you're vegetarian, so you have dairy, perhaps even some eggs, this is what you would look at, okay? So this would be your tofu, it would be your eggs, it would be your yogurt, it could be a variety of different we'll get into plant-based in just a moment, but vegetarian-based options. It could be a field roast sausage, it could be Beyond patties, it could be anything like that. Now, if you're, say, plant-based or vegan, the way your protein works is we also have to account for carbohydrates. So whatever the highest protein content item is on your plate, that's what we're going to consider your protein. So if you're having, lentils, if you're having any sort of legume or bean, if you're having a plant-based patty, any of those things, that would be your protein. That wouldn't count as necessarily your carbohydrate for that meal. Okay, so just something to keep in mind the way we're doing this. 1 palm is your protein on the plate. Okay, we have our non-veg, veg, plant-based, or vegan. Second, okay, we're going to be looking at our vegetables. Now, my rule is fill up half the plate, the whole thing. Put your hand flat on a plate, fill it up, stack it high, non-starchy vegetables. Now, you'll see other ones that say a fist of vegetables, totally fine, fist of vegetables. So now we'll have our palm and a fist of vegetables. okay? Palm, vegetables. The vegetables that you're going to want to prioritize are going to be the ones that are non-starchy carbohydrate vegetables. So you're looking at broccoli, cauliflower, most salads, but anything is better than nothing. If you enjoy eggplant, throw it on there. You enjoy okra, gourd, throw it on there. You got, basically whatever, green beans, throw it on there. Brussels sprouts. Find vegetables you like in ways that you can prepare them, because this is very foundational. We just want to fill in our gaps. And as you begin to put those vegetables in another video, we'll go over how to select vegetables, how to select proteins, how to select carbohydrates, and the hierarchy of these things. And if you get a meal plan from us, if you're a part of our program already, you already have these things. So these aren't things that you need to be too concerned about. You just want to follow the hand portions. So now that we look at our plate and we have our protein, we have our vegetables. Now we want to look at our starchy carbohydrates. This is going to be your rice, your potatoes, things like that. Those are going to be a cup, like a scooped palm. And generally for men, you're looking at, 3/4 of a cup or so, maybe up to a cup. And women, you're looking at more of like 1/4 to 1/2 a cup. And that would be on your plate. Now, these are for all plates. This isn't like just after exercise right now. This is all plates that you have throughout the day. So if you eat 3 times a day, then you're going to have, 3 helpings. And we'll talk about a little bit in regards to timing at the end of this video. But you're going to have one little scoop. Okay, so far we have our protein, veggies, carbohydrates on the plate. Now, you might already be thinking, wow, that's a lot of food. And it is. Okay, but the cool thing is you're going to fill in these nutritional deficiencies as you're going through this process. And if you're exercising, say 2 to 3 times a week, moderate intensity, 3 times a week, 2 times a week is good, but that's going to require a little bit more nutrient timing. You're going to be doing great. And then if you do more than that, you maintain this, you're going to see significant changes in your energy and, how your body feels, because you're filling in these nutrition gaps in your output, body composition. It's going to feel really good. So now let's get on to our last one, fats. Thumb of fats. Okay, guys, 2 thumbs of fats. And all of these, again, guys, 2 palms of protein, double vegetables, 2 palms of your, now 2 palms, not, an open serving, right, where you just load the whole plate. 2 palms, 2 scoops, and then 2 thumbs of fat. Now, here's our thing with fat. If we look at this, some of the things that we're going to consider as fat are, butter, oils, ghee. So those are pretty standard. From there, it goes into things like cheeses and nuts. Now, you might look at that and be like, wow, that's not very many almonds, especially if you have a small thumb. And you're right, it's not. Those are incredibly calorie-dense foods. So as we're adding our fats and healthier fats into our diet, we want to make sure that we're not loading up on calorie-dense foods. We're getting the things that we need. The protein, which is very thermogenically expensive, meaning you burn a lot of calories in metabolizing that food. Your vegetables for your fiber, your carbohydrates for your energy and fiber, and then your fats for, overall health and as well as your hormones. So again, I'll have other videos on these. This is just enough to get you to kind of make the decision to do these things now. So if you were to take that, okay, now you have your palm of protein, your vegetables, right? So you have that there, your scoop of carbohydrates, and your fats. So you could use that as cooking oil. You could have that on the side. These are just different ways that you would create your plate. And that's how you would create your meals. Now, let's say, for example, you want to focus on body composition. So we want to introduce, like, say you want to lose weight and we want to time our carbohydrates a little bit better. Here's how this would work in the beginning. As you make your plate, you would focus on protein, vegetables, and fats for the majority of your meals, okay? You would time your carbohydrates for after your workout. That's how we would start. You would fill in your carbohydrates after your workout. That's it. Pretty simple stuff. Protein, vegetables, fats, every meal, proteins, vegetables, carbohydrates, and fats post-workout. And that is going to be more than enough to get you going. If you're just starting your diet, you're filling in your deficiencies, or you need a basic plan to get going. In future videos, we're going to be talking about how to find your proteins, how to find your carbohydrates, how to find your vegetables, how to find your fats, a little bit more about timing in terms of adding and subtracting based on body composition and what you're looking for. So I hope this helps in terms of portions. And remember, most of us, we're not eating too much. We're eating too much of the wrong things at the wrong times. So if we start with this, what we're going to find is by our energy going up, our body changing, that the other things that we try to fill in the gaps with, whether that's for quick bursts of energy or sweets or things like that, they're not going to be as abundant in your diet. And it's a very easy way for you to start taking control. Now, in regards to fruits, because I did skip over that. So if you have some fruit questions here, when it comes to your fruits and vegetables, you're going to want to do 3-to-1 vegetables to fruits, meaning for every 3 servings of vegetables, have 1 serving of fruit. If you find that you want to go double on your fruit, that's okay. I mean, if you're a big fruit person, you want to find what works for you right now. Whole foods, they're gonna get you going. So if you like that and that helps replace some of the bad stuff, do it. If you find that you're eating all fruits, throw in some vegetables. If you're not eating any fruits, perhaps add some. But it's going to be about balance in the beginning. So if you have questions, go ahead and throw them below. This is a great way for you to get started. Remember, protein, vegetables, carbohydrates, and fats. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.